Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Sue, and today we are going to work on this really gorgeous monogram mug rug that I did here in Hatch. However, you can do this mug rug in any software, and I'll give you quick tips on how in the other software that I have. So to start off, let's deconstruct it. This is the final one that I stitched out. Of course, I use different colors, but that's okay. We can see how it is, and you'll be surprised at how easy it is. So the first thing that we have to remember is that we are making a mug rug. So all I did was make a square. I thought that was a nice shape. You can make it just about any shape that you want as long as it's big enough for everything. And I just did a square and I made it, around 6.5. It's a little bit under that. That's fine. So number one, that is our placement line. So that is going to show us where to put our fabric and our batting. Once we put that down, we're going to go to number 2, and that is the same square again, and that's just going to tack everything down for us. You can go over it twice if you want, do a repeat or do a back stitch, but I just left it as a running stitch. Let's go over here to colors so we can see it a little bit better. Now, number 3 is just a little design that I added. I just thought it would make it look really good. And these are from the monogram part of Hatch, and it's really cool, and I just kind of added everything into it, and I thought it was awesome. So here is the monogram, and this we made into an applique, so it's really easy to do. So that's your placement is right here, sorry, and this is going to tack it down. So once it's done this, you cut it out, zigzag, and then satin stitches, and then these are the stitches in between, and then the initials, of course, you have to have that on a monogram, don't you? And then the last step is the same square again, and before you stitch this one out, you're going to put down your fabric folded like we normally do for no-sew coasters, and it's folded over. Make sure you get it to overlap a little bit, and then we're going to sew the square twice, and I just made this one just a little bit inside the first one, so I think that looks fantastic. So those are your steps. You can add more, you can subtract more if you want, it doesn't matter, but this is how we're going to do it. Now we're going to do it first in Hatch, but I will pause and show you show you what tools to use in PEDesign and Embrilliance and possibly Embird. Embird doesn't actually have a monogramming thing, but I can show you quickly how to make it. So let's go to new file and let's start this again. Why don't we? It's super easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to Digitize, and we're going to pick a square. Now I'm just going to hack it out. Don't waste any time on this part. And I could have wasted time making it an outline that I wanted. That's fine. So again, I want to make this around the same size. So we'll make it 6.5 and take the little lock off there, and we're going to do 6.5, and that's our square. How awesome is that? Perfect. So right click, copy, or you can use the shortcut Control C, and then right click, paste, or Control V. I just do it that way. Let's go into objects because we want this to be a color change. So first green, this is our placement. Remember the order that we just did, placement, and this is going to stitch everything down. So if you want this one to backtrack, to go over it twice, then just click backtrack on it, or you can do repeat, either way. I'm just going to leave it, so let's go to edit, undo backtrack. Some people like to do that. I'm not that worried about it, so I'm cool. So, okay, first what I meant to do actually is zero out this design so it's in the center. So let's do that now so we have everything matching perfectly when we want to go ahead and do all this. So center it out. That's easy. Now let's go to lettering and monogramming. So let's go to the monogramming part, and I scroll down and you can see the one that I used. How gorgeous is that? And it almost fits in absolutely perfectly. So you can use this one if you want, or we can pick another one. I kind of like this. I thought the colors were pretty. I'm not sure if I would stitch that out or not, but I really kind of like it. Let's go back to colors. You can see that the one problem here is that it stitches blue and then it goes to gray, then back to blue. I think we want to move that one around just a little bit. So I clicked on it and noticed they're all together, and that means that normally that they're grouped, but they're not grouped. We have to use break apart. This is all one piece, so we need to break it apart. So always, if your group and ungroup is not available, then it's a break apart. And now if you look, it's green. Now our ungroup is available, so now we need to do that. And now these two are grouped. It's a lot of grouping. It's a lot of grouping. It just makes it easier that way. So phew, okay, now we can move it. A lot of ungrouping. There we go. So we've got that so far. Let's click on the letters, and I thought we could do, oops, let's do it in capitals, Mom, because why not? I think that would be really cool. Why not? So Mom, oh, I don't know what I hit there. Oh, I kind of want it capitals. Oh, it doesn't actually matter. I'm going to leave it blue because I like that. Now on this one is the whole design. We're going to have to ungroup that one too because I want it to be separated out. Ungroup again. And do we have it? Oh, we do, but we have to go into objects. Woo! Confused myself for a second there. Let's go all the way down to the objects. There's going to be quite a few because it's complicated. There we go. That's what I wanted. Now, if you look down here where your thread colors are, if you see a dark blue square in the corner, that means those are colors that you have already used in the design. So if you want to match your colors up like I do, I want to do this one blue and I want to do this one blue. You don't have to guess as to what blue you used because it's marked with a blue square. Now, isn't that looking pretty? But you could stitch it out like this if you wanted to, but I want this applique. So how do you do that? Because it's not applique, it's just satin stitches. Well, this is really cool. Go to applique and one click. So you have to have it selected and go convert to applique. Now keep in mind, you can't do this with stitch files. It has to be a native EMB file to be able to do this. Now we have it. Remember, these two blue ones are just the outlines, which we're going to fiddle with after. But this is now our applique. So if you wanted to export an SVG to your cutter, this is when you do it because it will be read as an applique file. The minute you do anything else to it, like break apart, because that's what we're going to do shortly, it doesn't retain the applique coding on it. It just goes to, you know, single stitches, zigzag stitches, and satin stitches. So if you want to export that, now's the time to do it. So let's go to our break apart, and you can see it broke it apart. It put a couple blank ones in there, and we're just going to delete them. So this is our first one, our placement stitch or our cutting stitch. Now I am going to copy and I'm going to paste because I want this one to go in twice. Now it puts it down at the bottom, but we can just click the arrows and we're going to bring it up. Some people find this a whole lot easier. We're going to bring it up and we're going to pick the second one and we're going to change that color. So this is going to show us on our fabric where the applique is going to be. And then you put your applique piece down so you can make sure that it all fits properly. This is going to stitch it down and then you cut it out. And then this is the zigzag stitches. And then this is the pretty satin stitches. Now these are the design stitches. So if you wanted to change these around, we could maybe put, you know, a monogram design on it. You can decide, or a stem stitches one I did. I think that might look really pretty. Yeah, see, I like that. It kind of makes it a little bit classy. I really like that. But you can certainly go through the motif stitches and do something small on it. It's really pretty. So, okay, so far, so good. Now, we could just leave it like this, but I think we're going to add more to it. But before I do that, I want to flip into the other software and just show you where the tools are. Before I get started on that, please subscribe to the channel and like this video to let me know that you guys want more videos just like this. And I also want to point out that I could not do this before because I didn't have a big enough computer to run Hatch, PEDesign, and all the recording software, and now I do, so we can try this a little bit. Let me know in the comments if you found switching software awkward or confusing, or if it really helps out. So let me know and we can do it. So I'm not going to do the whole digitizing. I am just going to show you the basics, and I'm going to show you where the tools are. So for the square shape, you have it right here. Now you can pick any one of these, or you can pick any one of these. I don't know if the gingerbread man would work very well, but you could if you turned it. So lots of shapes. You can do the square and do it properly. If you're going to do the monogramming, I have here in the design library, which comes with PEDesign 11 and probably 10, it's almost exactly the same, and monogram decorations, and this is where you can find maybe groovy shapes for the center. You can find all the elements for it, and I think that would be really cute. So you can make it fit, and you just double click and there it is. Now size it out to match. You can do anything like that, and then or you can make your own shape and make it into an applique. You don't have to do the applique part. I just thought it was kind of cute. So you can either, like I said, do applique or just plain, but here's some fancy, swirly, different things to add to it, so you can dress it up how you want. Now for the text, you go right here to monogram text, and you can do any text in the monogram style, which I think is really cool. So you can play around. I'm not going to sit and play with it because you know I can play around with fonts for far too long. But there's just an example of one, and then you pull out the corners and you resize it. So basically you can embellish it how you want. I think this one actually turned out really well. And though that's where you find everything that you need. So lots of shapes and some lettering. Okay, on to the next software. Okay, so the next software is Embrilliance, and we're going to do the same thing. Follow the steps on the hatch, but here's where you find everything. So if you go in here, you want to make a shape. So I'm going to show you where your shapes are. Embrilliance outlines. This is a drop-down menu. So if you don't have that, just drop down and go. And these tons of shapes here, tons and tons of shapes. So you can get pretty creative. And you could do a square, a circle, any shape you want. So that's where you find those, and I think that's fantastic. So even for the middle parts, you can do any of these shapes. See, that one's kind of neat, and you can, you know, move them around. This one would be cool. So remember, when you bring it in, you have to make sure that you assign the proper stitches to it. If you bring this in, it is just a line. Look over here, it's just a line. So you have to change it into what you want. And we're going to go into, I have Stitch Artist 3, and that's when you can add different things to it. Zigzag, you know, satin stitches, anything you want. So that's that part. Let's go to the lettering part now, because we want this to be a monogram, right? So we've got our shapes, and we're going to go to our lettering, and we're going to go here, and look, we have something called MGM Diamond, And there is your monogram lettering. And how perfect is that? What I like about Embrilliance is if you want the B just a smidgen bigger to look like this and still keep your lines, you can do it that way, and I like it. So pull out your squares, remember all your steps over here, of course, and you can put it together really nicely in Embrilliance. Okay, so this is the last software that I have to be able to show you how to do this, and this is Embird, and you have to have the studio part to be able to do it. So again, I'm just going to show you quickly, and we'll go back to the Hatch one momentarily. So here is how you find the shapes in Embird Studio. So you click on, we want it to be an outline, you click on over here is the outline, and you put down a point wherever you want. If you don't put down the point, the shape menu doesn't become available. So you could pick a rounded rectangle and you click and hold to drag it out, and you can make it any shape. And then you right click and you go to two elements. You can make any adjustments that you want, and then you can generate the stitches. So there's your shapes for the whole design. You can do the outside, you can do the inside. Now, as far as I know, and I could be totally wrong, but as far as I know, Embird does not have a monogramming part. However, Embird has access to a ton of letters. So if you have the font part of it, you can use all of the fonts that are in your computer, but you have to have the font part. Or you purchase, let me X that out, X, or you purchase the fonts that come with it. Now, I don't have them all by any means. I have a few of them that I used to use all the time, and that's really handy. But you can make your own monogram style. Let's pick this one, and I'm going to do Mom. And this you can get, you know, as creative as you want with it. So let's just generate that, and you see it comes out letter by letter. So this also makes it really easy to work with. Let's just move the two M's out of the way, and let's make this O a little bit bigger and put it there. And well, even like that looks pretty good, don't you think? You could maybe put a slant on it. You have a lot of creativity available here. And if you don't like this font, we could pick another one, and you could, you know, make sure it's lined up, and sure is easy to do. So that's your shapes, and that's your lettering in Monogram. So you could come up with just about anything. Okay, let's get back to Hatch. Okay, back to Hatch. Again, you guys let me know in the comments if my quick little detour to show you the tools in the other software is good. People have been asking it. I just wasn't able to do it because of the computer situation, but Santa Claus got me a huge computer so I can pretty much do whatever I want. So back to it, let me know. On this one, you could stitch it out like this. We still have the last step to do, but if you wanted to make it a little fancier, I'm going to show you a quick way of doing it. I kind of wanted like an outside edge to it. So I'm just setting up some guidelines. Now all you have to do is click on the ruler to pull them out, and this will just make our next task super easy. I don't want it too much. I want this one over a little bit, I think. I don't like that one, so I just throw it off. I know there's other ways of doing it. It just makes me happy. I just like doing it. Okay, so there is our grid set out, and this is what I did just to make it a little fancier. So let's go to our rectangle, and I'm going to match up with those guidelines. There we go. And this is the reason why I like the cursor like this, because that was easy and precise to do. So, okay, that's cool. Maybe a little bit plain. Let's go to reshape, and we are going to do it actually really easily. I did it wrong. Ha, I did it wrong. Well, that's okay. Hold on. Let's go back. Let's pretend this didn't happen. So, la 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 la, didn't happen. There we go. Now we're going to pull out a square. We got this. We got this. And it is correct. Now look at that, I did it right. And let's check the size of the square. It's, well, let's do 5.7. So let's make it perfectly square. And 5.771. No, let's do it 5.7. Thanks. So delete, delete, and enter there. And now we have it, and we can zero it out so we know it's in the middle. Okay, look at that. I did that so quickly, just all by myself, right? If you wanted to line these up better, you know what? Go ahead and put the grid on. I find it doesn't translate very well on the video, so I'm trying to leave it out. So let's select this. The pink lets you know it's selected. Let's go into reshape, and all we're going to do is add a couple of points here. And let's do it here. Let's do it here, anywhere that it intersects. Again, you can be a little more precise and bring the grid out, but I don't want to mess up the video. Okay, that hasn't done a whole lot now, has it? Until you bring this straight. And it kind of gives it just, you know, a little bit fancier. It's super easy to do, and I really liked the look of it. And there we go. So kind of, you know, nice edges there. You could leave it like this, or you can, let's see, I did, well, that one doesn't work. That does not work. So let's bring this over here, and we can pick different ones. I guess it's not going to move for me. I don't want any of the black work ones because they're a bit too tall for what we want to do. Candle wicking would work, but let's go to the single motifs there and click to bring it out. There, I got it right on that time. So move it here so we can see. Well, arrows would be nice. Yeah, either way. That one is also pretty. I picked like a blanket stitch looking one before, and I really liked it. Remember, you can pick one and you can make all sorts of adjustments. See, now I like that one. That's cross 02. You can make all the adjustments down here at the bottom, right down here. You can make all sorts of adjustments. So I'm kind of liking that. I kind of like that, indeedy do. So we're almost done. There we go. We're just going to copy this, and then we're going to paste it, Control C, Control V, and it's going to go right to the end, and that is exactly where we want it. And I'm going to put a backtrack on that because I do want it to go down twice, and I want it to be just a hair smaller. So actually, pretend that didn't happen too. All right, we've got this one. We want to make it a little bit smaller, just, you know, 4/8, so 6.48. Just a little bit so it's on the inside so we don't see the other stitches whenever we flip it over, and it just, to me, gives it a nicer end to it, like a nicer edge. We might have to zero it out, so just tiny bit difference. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. That is fine. So let's select it. Make sure you always have everything selected, and go to backtrack so we get that down nice solidly. If you didn't want to do backtrack, you could do a back stitch and that would hold it down. You could also do a triple stitch, but I don't know if it's necessary to do. And there we go. There's our beautiful design ready to stitch out. And all we did was shapes and built in stuff and broke it apart and made it really pretty. So you need two fabrics. You need the back fabric, you need the backing, and then you need a little piece for applique. So in the next video, we're going to go ahead and we are going to stitch this out, and I will show you all of the steps on how to create it. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys liked this video. Remember to comment if you liked seeing the tools for the other software. Let me know if that works for you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!